And I remember as kids saying, "Ding darling, ding darling."
It's a name that resonated as a source of creativity and ideas.
It's kind of a musical name.
Have you ever heard about the duck stamp program? Seen a duck stamp? This is what the first duck stamp looked like in 1934. Ding designed it. Actually, he got the whole program started while he was in Washington. It's a great way to raise money to preserve wildlife habitat and promote art at the same time. But I'll let Grandpa Kip tell you the story.
The idea of requiring a duck stamp, as it was called, on every hunting license, if somebody was going to hunt waterfowl, was not Darling's idea. And its purpose was to raise revenue for pursuing conservation goals. The idea had been kicking around Washington for many, many years, but nobody had ever been able to get anything done. Darling, who had this extraordinary skill for moving people, agendas, action, tackled that. And lo and behold, by some skillful political work, he got the Duck Stamp Act passed. I think that was 1934. And that program by itself has preserved over 5 million acres of critical habitat. And sort of an amusing story, after the Act was passed, lo and behold, one day in Darling's office, a couple of guys show up from the Bureau of Engraving. They said, "What, Mr. Darling, is a duck stamp supposed to look like?" Well, here we had this guy that had been drawing ducks all his life. And he said, "Well, let me see." And he looked around for, he didn't do a lot of drawing at the office. So he looked around, and there were some shirts back from the laundry, and they put a piece of white cardboard in the shirt to keep it stiff in those days. And so he goes over the shirts and he pulls out a couple of pieces of cardboard and he brings them back to his desk and he goes like this and draws this picture or two. And he said, "Well, something like this." And then he looked at his watch and he'd gotten distracted with the drawing and the talking about it, and he was way late for an appointment. He said, "I've got to run." So he whips out of the office, leaving these two guys behind. And he gets back after lunch. The two guys are gone, and so is the white cardboard. They took that back to the Bureau of Engraving and used Darling's image to create the stamp. Sort of interesting.
Well, I first became aware of the duck stamp through my father, who collected them starting in 1934. And he bought his first duck stamp, and he thought it was such a cool thing that he saved his and every member of his families. So I was aware of the program, and then when I found out that there was a contest to pick the art, being artistic myself, I thought, well, that'd be a dream come true to win that one day. And through the art and getting involved in the duck stamp, I really learned what an amazing conservation project it is. I work closely with my brothers, Bob and Joe. We all paint the same type of subject matter. They've won the duck stamp contest. And it really helps us, I think, to have someone to bounce your ideas off of. All the acres of wetlands that they've bought, that's where we grew up hunting on a waterfowl production area bought with duck stamp dollars. It's great to be a part of a program that contributes so much back to nature.
The connection, and it's a beautiful connection between the duck stamp and Ducks Unlimited, is that over the years, we have, at Ducks Unlimited, fostered, advocated, and been among the greatest champions of the duck stamp in this country. Started in 1934 by this wonderful man, Ding Darling, as a volunteer effort. And so that started the idea that it's our responsibility to pay for this. You can't simply turn to government to make everything happen. All of us as citizens have to do our part Now, government needs to do its part too, but we as citizens and non-government organizations need to do our part. And so Ducks Unlimited has walked in lockstep with the Duck Stamp program throughout the years, helping to sponsor the Duck Stamp contests.
And our 2012 Duck Stamp winner, Joseph Hoffman.